it is Thursday and you're watching The One Show live on BBC One and iPlayer with me, Alex Jones. And look who's back from filming the finish line, it's Rowan Kemp.
Also coming up in tonight's One Big Thank You, we head to Edinburgh to see the magical moment superstar Donny Osmond surprises one of his biggest fans, and his reaction is priceless.
This whole trip to Edinburgh has been set up.
No way.
The One Show contacted me.
Yes, we did. And it is such a lovely moment.
Yes, and one man who's been telling a little white lie for all the right reasons is musical legend Donny Osmond, who headed to a coffee shop in Edinburgh for us to surprise Matthew, one of his biggest fans.
Yes, we'll bring you that amazing moment very shortly. But first, here's why Matthew deserves a one big thank you.
Matthew deserves one big thank you for being such a huge inspiration to everyone he meets in his life.
Matthew English from Lancing was born with microtia atresia, a condition that affects the development of the ear. This led to a complete loss of hearing on his right side and a reduction on his left. He embraced his hearing loss and became an accomplished musician after being given a violin by a charity set up by legendary family singing group the Osmonds. And as a huge fan of the musical Joseph, aged 11, he wrote a letter to his idol Donny Osmond, who was appearing in the starring role. Later, Donny invited him to perform a duet on stage. Inspired by that moment and wanting to give back, Matthew, now aged 19, uses his talent to entertain people in care homes.
Music is so uplifting, isn't it, to everybody? And it's lovely to have somebody come and play like that.
My mum was in a care home and she and all the other ladies and gentlemen looked forward to him coming to play the violin for them. It made their day when he turned up.
He also plays at local events to help raise money for charities.
From 13 years of age till now, virtually every event that Lancing Parish Council put on, he was there. He never wanted a payment. He did it for charity.
He always plays his beautiful violin during events, which just brings a lot of light and happiness.
On top of all of this, Matthew has spent the last 3 years as a full-time carer for his 87-year-old grandfather.
He gives up so much of his time for me. I wouldn't know where I'd be without him.
All of his young life has been about giving back to other people.
He is a wonderful inspiration to the other young people without microtia too, what you can all achieve and what you can all be.
Oh, he really is an outstanding young man, and Matthew hasn't seen Donny since he was 11 years old. So when we told Donny about the incredible difference Matthew is making with his music, he couldn't wait to spring a special surprise.
Knowing that Matthew is a huge fan of Donny and the musical Joseph, we're bringing him to Edinburgh, where once again, Donny has a starring role, this time as the Pharaoh.
It was no surprise when The One Show got in contact with me and told me what Matthew has been doing and how he's become such an amazing young man with what he's done with his life. So I jumped at the chance to give Matthew a one big thank you.
Matthew's been told he's been invited for an interview in Edinburgh about his volunteering. He's got no idea he'll be meeting Donny, or that he's going to end up centre stage. The first part of our plan is to rig this cafe with our hidden cameras. Next, his mum Janice, who's also in on the plan, leads Matthew in for a drink before his interview. Now all we need is Donny.
I'm going to go in there and grab a quick hot chocolate and let the surprise begin. Yeah.
Even though he's talking on his phone, Matthew recognises Donny straight away.
Can you give us hot chocolate?
And he quickly plucks up the nerve to reintroduce himself.
Just have it here.
Donny, it's Matthew.
Oh my goodness. What are you doing here?
Interview.
Oh my God. You gotta be kidding me.
It's crazy.
Matthew's already thrilled at bumping into his hero, but now Donny is going to kick the surprise up a notch.
Well, what time is your interview? Because if you got a chance, I could take you over to the theater. I've got something really important to do over there. And if you want to go right now, is that okay with you?
All right, let's go.
He whisks Matthew into the car, where our camera crew is pretending to film a documentary about Donny.
You might even be in the documentary.
As they head over to the theatre, Matthew tells Donny about his work raising money for charity and about caring for his grandfather.
How old is he?
He's 87. And before that, it was my granny's almost every other day personal care.
My goodness. You volunteered to care for your granddad. You volunteered to raise money. You volunteered to help people.
Yeah.
You're a volunteering kind of guy. You're so inspiring.
At the theatre, they go straight to the stage.
Wow. Okay, I've got to do this very important thing that I told you about in the coffee shop. Okay, do you mind just holding on 1 second? Do we have all the Joseph people on stage, please?
Donny quickly gets the cast into position.
Bring up the lights. You stand right here and smiles at everyone. Okay, that's just the way I want it, okay? That's perfect.
Now that everyone is in place, Donny is finally coming clean.
That important thing I told you about that I have to get done today? The important matter is you.
Oh. Is it?
It wasn't by chance that I was in that coffee shop. This whole trip to Edinburgh has been set up.
No way.
The One Show contacted me. And they told me everything that you've been doing these past years and your selfless, charitable life. We want to say, one big thank you! So Matthew, we're not the only ones that think you're amazing.
Matthew, we hope you've had the best day ever, being reunited with the brilliant Donny Osmond. Your infectious, positive attitude and utter selflessness is something that we all admire. You truly deserve this one big thank you.
Matthew, you are fantastic. Have a wonderful evening. You totally deserve it.
You've been, quite frankly, an absolute amazing inspiration. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you so much for the pleasure you bring everyone. We love you.
A lot of people love you. Now, I can't let you go without having you put on the Joseph coat. There it is!
And Donny has one final surprise for Matthew.
Here are your tickets to be our guest with your mum, and I will see you after the show.
This is a dream to come to this show. Thank you so much.
Was a great one, wasn't it? To kick off the year. Oh, I think we had one last week that was brilliant as well. Yeah. Equally brilliant. And I really love that Matthew recognised him straight away in the coffee shop. A huge thank you to Donny for that surprise, who's now back in Vegas for